Just a moment, let me just on YouTube also. Yes, it's on. So pranams to all. Warm welcome. Welcome to all. So today is like day 2 of this, the shift. I named it as the shift. Just a minute. Okay. Yeah, it's like, just give me a minute. I'm just trying to share this. Okay. It's quite something. Okay, this will be in continuation to what we were talking yesterday about. And I have no clue what I'm going to speak. These events are very unplanned. All the webinars are unplanned. All the sessions are unplanned. It's very spontaneous. So I always love to keep this very spontaneous. What flows is what's meant to be. Even for retreats also, we do not have a particular goal. Whatever flows, that's it. Even we do not know the agenda. We do not know the objective of the retreat. It's only when we reach there and when we begin, it flows out. That's how all the retreats have been in Tiruvannamalai. 14 batches we did, almost 2 years, or 1.5 years, I must say, or 2 years. All the 14 have been like this. All the sessions that we do are very spontaneous. All these webinars also, we have the name of the webinar, but what happens inside? It's just the flow. And that's what I'm trying to share. I'm trying to share that. Can somebody just post me the link of this Facebook in WhatsApp in the room so that I can just share it with. I'm very poor in technicalities. So I was saying that is what we talk so much about. I try to share so much about. Our life must be very spontaneous, and I believe in it very strongly. By experience, I say our life must be spontaneous. Thank you, Hema. Here I am. Just took a moment to just post the link. So I was talking about spontaneity. Our life must become very spontaneous. Okay. We have spams coming up. I forgot to edit this. I should have kept it comments only for subscribers. Anyways, yeah, thank you for sharing. So I was talking about spontaneity. All this thing about anxiety, what we talk about, I am anxious, I have a lot of anxiety, I have this and that, all these problems that we are talking about, depression, where is all this coming from? This is coming from non-spontaneity, means I am using my head too much, my mind too much. Using my mind and head too much simply means I have a lot of thoughts. And simply meaning a lot of thoughts, it means that I'm in the zone of doership. I'm a doer somewhere. I've become a doer somewhere. How to identify and catch this doer? If you find yourself thinking and planning all the time, even the next move, that's called a doer. It strengthened the doership, planning. So in this past 3 years, it has been very spontaneous, and I love to keep it that way because when I saw my life unwinding in spontaneity, things happening out of the blue, everything being taken care of by itself. There was a time when I used to run all the time, running badly all the time, chasing my goals and chasing the objectives and trying to find out the purpose of life and trying to live it out and, worrying about what will happen next, what will happen to the family, what blah, 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 blah. That kept me so much in the doer zone. And then, like I told yesterday, life threw me off board. It just threw me off board. And that was a situation which was very helpless. I couldn't do anything. See, I couldn't do anything. It was made to do. That you cannot do anything. Helpless situation means you cannot do anything. Actually, I believe that is the time when we actually can shut up. And when we shut up, life begins. That's the zone of spontaneity. When I, the doer, shut myself down, means my mind shuts down, my thoughts shut down, then there is a space from where everything begins reflecting. From that space, everything takes care automatically. It's very difficult to know that until we try it out. If you don't try it out, life will make you do it. If you are a seeker, if you are a true seeker, the inner guru, the external guru, that is the Brahmanda, Supreme Consciousness, the Param Guru Tatva, will ensure that this is done. Life will bring in so much of tests that you will have no other objective but to give up. We must give up. We must experience those times when we are unable to do anything. Those extreme helplessness. We think this is negative. It's not negative. It's grace in disguise. Yesterday, as we talked, right? Grace in disguise. Feel grateful. See, we are just trying to change this approach now. This banging our head, life is not going well, and trying to take control, doing this and that. Resistance to life kills. Mahavatar Baba's teaching in his lineage, very strong. The message from Mahavatar Baba is resistance itself is the root cause of all disease. You must have never heard this before. It's astounding. Root cause of every disease is some kind of resistance in us. We discussed this in depth in the retreat, recent retreat. I'll share with you this sutra. You can make your life very beautiful. But it's not so easy. It might sound very easy, but yes, it can become easy if you operate with these tools that we have on shifting into awareness. You work through awareness and then see how it works. It's very magical. Results are guaranteed. Resistance, this one word. What is resistance? Opposite of not going with the flow. You resist the flow. What is spontaneously, naturally happening, you resist it. That creates suffering. All resistance is suffering. Imagine the sun is going to set and you resist and you say, no, I want it to rise. Who could be a bigger fool than us? How much sufferings can we undergo? It's stupidity, right? Yes. You might say that the sun is setting and it is impossible to make it rise. That is because the sun is bound to set. In this manner, life is supposed to function in a certain way. The whole cosmos is running in a certain way. We cannot change the laws of gravity because we don't like it. What do we do in with these laws? You can't change. So you can't resist. Do you resist gravity? In fact, mankind has learned now to live with gravity very beautifully. Look at everything that they do, even the planes flying and all that. Yeah, they have found out ways, at least to escape it temporarily. But again, they know not forever. It has to come down. But they make the best use of it. Even a basketball is not entertaining without the law of gravity. Imagine you toss the ball and it flies up, never to come back. So there is fun only when there is this gravity. Man has understood how to utilize this and to make the best of gravity. Man has learned to use gravity, go with the flow. Similar manner, life also functions in a certain way. If we adapt to life, and that is Avadhuta Gita what we are talking about. The Avadhuta says, be like water, flexible, not like rock, not like Prithvi Tattva, hard, kattar. Be flexible like water. He gives the example of the river, how it flows without any obstacles. It keeps flowing. And if a rock comes in front of it, it doesn't fight and argue and waste time there. It simply mellows down and moves from the side. Though the water is very powerful. If the need be, the water, the river can even wash away the boulder, the rock. It has that power when it needs to, but not all the time. It can simply go. No resistance. It can adapt anywhere. You put it into a tumbler, it takes the shape of a tumbler. You put it into a glass, it becomes glass. You put it into a spoon, it becomes spoon. You put it into a pot, it becomes a pot. Flexibility, adaptability. Adaptability is one quality of non-resistance. So when you don't resist, life can really become beautiful. I talk by experience. I'm 100% convinced. That is why all these programs that I'm blessed to do, the webinars and retreats and sessions and things like that are all spontaneous, including this one. There is no theme that I sit with. There is nothing that I sit and plan. Oh, I need to do this. Yes, I keep on noting, but I have notes. But this, I do it every day, whether there is a session or not. Whatever crosses my mind, I simply start noting it down. Because sometimes there's a gush of thoughts that's simply downloading. That's the method I use for sessions. What downloads, I simply put it out. It's a flow. The body is not much into this. That is why people, when they question, how are you sitting for 6 hours, 8 hours at one stretch without even getting up for water or going to the washroom? without getting tired. I say the body gets tired and the body is not speaking. When you are hooked on to life, to the source, that does the work. So you are simply an observer. You're simply playing the game. You don't become the doer. The doer suffers always. So I have seen life is very spontaneous and very beautiful when you plug in. You don't have to worry about anything. Everything is taken care of. It takes a little knack to understand this. Once you get the knack, it's easy. You go with the flow of life. You allow life to go its way. And you can see tremendous power in this plugging in and allowing it to flow, because I have compared notes and seen if I had to do the same thing with my head, I would have done it something very differently. And when I compare with what's flowing, I would always choose what is flowing, because the results are two different extremes. And these results are by experience. I've followed a certain way that my mind tells, and I've seen where it heads, and then I let go of this. I walk in awareness. I talk in awareness. I live in awareness. And then I see what happens. Simply, previously, whatever I was not able to do, it simply takes care of itself. I see that it's much more better, efficiently handled. That's the beauty. So much of burden goes. Where can there be room for stress for the body or mind? You're relaxed and calm all the time. You're happy with everything. Non resistant means you don't resist even the opposite. If it's hot, you don't say, I want cold. If it is cold, you don't say, I want hot. Yes, for survival mode, you can take care. But I'm talking from comfort mode. A little uncomfortable, and I fret and fume. I am constantly trying to adjust. And Mahavatar Baba's teaching says, resist not, because everything is a part of the Supreme Consciousness. So the approach is different. You look at suffering also in a different manner. Is anything out of the Supreme Consciousness? Yesterday we discussed, right, that everything is in the realm of consciousness. Shiva, the Supreme Consciousness, it needs awareness, that is Kartikeya, Sun, Murugan, Skanda, Subramanya, whatever you call, or Sarat, Sanat. Through that awareness, the consciousness watches Shakti at its play. It cannot enjoy the play without awareness. So that consciousness needs to be conscious or aware. That is how it has a vimarsha or experience. So everything is on the vast screen of consciousness. All the play, this Brahmand, many multiple Brahmands, innumerable Brahmands, everything is in the realm of that Supreme Consciousness. That is called as chidakasha. The Akasha of the self. We have a Chidakasha retreat coming up in January in Ganeshpuri. We had one last year. Not last year, last couple of months back, I think in October. I don't remember the date. No, maybe August. And it was nice. We had so many people coming in from all over the globe, because that place is a powerful place. And from that place comes the teachings of Chidakasha, Chidakasha Gita of Bhagavan Nityananda. It's very difficult to understand his language. The whole Chidakasha is very difficult to understand. If you read, you have to literally meditate. Sometimes you need support to understand because it comes from an avadhuta, from the avadhut sthiti, where the mind is not functioning. It's a flow happening. He is completely immersed in that. And from his Chidakasha. Those are messages from the Chidakasha of Nityananda. Now, Chidakasha of Nityananda and Chidakasha of yours and mine are not different. Same. You can say this Akasha Tatva, which you have heard, Panchamahabhuta, ether, space, all those five elements, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Prithvi, Jala, water, fire, air, wind, and ether or sky element. The sky element is the most supreme, it's the most subtle, you can't see it. You can see in the sky, from the sky comes the other four elements. That means these four elements are in the Akasha. You look at the whole sky, this space between you and me is Akasha. But this is not empty space. It looks empty. It's full of vibrations. Tarange chal rahi hai. I don't know how many vibrations might be here right now. Wi-Fi and mobiles and things like that. We can't see it. But there's movement, chanchalta, in this space that looks so silent. There is a transfer of energy. There is a transfer of some vibrations, which our senses cannot catch, or our eyes cannot see, ears cannot hear. But there definitely is movement here. Chalan mein hai. There are so many things that are happening right now, even in this space. There are so many beings around. Astral world is around. Can't see them. They're all frequencies. Where is all this happening? In this Akash. In fact, what I'm talking to you is coming through Akasha, isn't it? You might say, is this device? But what is connecting my voice to that device? There is space, distance between us. This microphone, and there is distance. So how does this voice travel here, Akash? From here to the satellite, and this also is wireless, from here to there, and from there to the satellite, and satellite to reach your home and into your device. Akasha. Constant activity is going on in the Akasha. Now this Akasha can be split into three. Bhuta Akasha, Chitta Akasha, and Chidakasha. Bhuta Akasha, Bhuta, the elements, is a physical, gross. Like there are objects in this room. This house is in the space. In this space are these objects, including me sitting. So you can literally see in this space, so many things are floating. You go outside the room, so many buildings. In fact, the whole earth is floating in space, isn't it? It's simply floating. So there is this Akash Tattva in which objects are floating, physical bodies are floating. That is called the Bhuta Akash. And then we have the mind. See, you can go this way. You have the Annamaya Kosha. There is a physical body, and then it is floating. Where is it floating? It is floating in the mind, isn't it? Pranamaya Kosha and the Manomaya Kosha. So inside the Manomaya Kosha is this body floating in the mind, literally. Mind has its own space in which thoughts are floating. So many vrittis are floating. So how do thoughts travel? Akasha. Of the Chit Akasha. Chit means purified mind. A pure mind is Chit. Impure mind is Mana. So all your emotions, feelings All these travel through vibrations. Thoughts. Thoughts are nothing but feelings. You connect to the thoughts and there is a vimarsha experience, and then it travels into your experience. But it uses the space of chit akasha, more subtler. Bhutakasha is gross, can be seen. Chittakasha cannot be seen, it's subtler. And even subtler is the space of the Atman, the self, in which everything is floating, including the Chittakasha and Bhutakasha, are also floating in that vast space of consciousness. That Shiva consciousness that we are talking about, that is known as Chidakasha. That can be experienced in your head. Bhagavan Nityananda says, this is the Chidakasha. That is why Kanjangad has 43 caves. And if you watch carefully, the whole caves are like a dome shape. And on top, there is this Samadhi Mandir or Bhagavan Nityananda's Mandir. On top. And then you have the dome. So on the top is Sastrara, where you can see Nityananda's statue in the Abhaya Mudra, made of Panchadhatu. And under that, Sahasrara, the head, the dome. And you can see the entrance of the cave is here, the ashram. You enter the cave, and this is the dome, and a temple is on top. You enter inside, there are two lobes, left and right hemispheres of the brain. So in the cave also you can see that. And there are many lobes, many caves. God only knows. Only Nityananda knows what is that science with which he built that. Now, when you go and sit in the caves, you are actually activating a certain part of your brain, which is meant to be. But how do you know where to sit? A planning mind cannot sit. A logical mind will miss the whole point. There, you have to follow what I'm saying here, going with the flow. You go by the inner call, not logic. Logic should be put to an end. Tarkasura should be put to an end. You go by feelings, you go by the inner voice, what you call as intuitions. You go and sit, and whatever has to happen will happen. I've had great experiences there. My life changed after coming to Nityananda. I feel I owe so much to that place, Ganeshpuri, because my life just changed from a drunkard, from a smoker, and from all kind of stuckness in this world. Negative, totally negative, aggressive. Suddenly everything changes in Ganeshpuri. And that's when I come in contact with this tattva called chidakasha. Try to read, but I cannot understand it. It took quite some time with the grace, with his grace, to even understand what he's trying to say there. Many years passed, and then I could understand very clearly. Today I'm fortunate and blessed that I am able to share Chidakasha Gita, because Chidakasha Gita is little difficult. It is not for the mundane spirituality. It has some depth. When you go beyond a certain point in your spiritual journey, only you can understand that. And you must understand that in order to get the full benefit of spirituality. Because what we do is part time spirituality, it doesn't help. This spirituality is only for time pass, it is some spiritual entertainment, something for a little peace of mind, a little solution to our problems. The maintenance zone. We are so much in the maintenance zone. So much into the maintenance zone. Even people who went to Nityananda went only for maintenance, sustenance, not for redemption, not for liberation. And that is what he always said. What I'm wanting to give, nobody comes here. That's why I say when we go to Ganeshpuri, if you are ready, you can ask that. That place has the power to give anything. But you must just know how to ask. In these retreats and all, we are just understanding the science of knowing how to ask, the science of using the chidakasha to ask, because that's where he lives. That's his abode, the chidakasha. If you know to enter that space and just be, it happens. That's what we did in the webinar called Paravani. Mantra Maheshwara. Deep impact from Shiva Sutras. That every word is mantra. Every thought is a mantra. Every object is a mantra. Anything you say is a mantra. You are a mantra. I am a mantra. My clothes are mantra. The dirt is mantra. The divinity is mantra. The evil is mantra. The God is mantra. Everything is mantra. Mantra Maheshwara. The mind is mantra. Chittam mantra. Very deep. But for that, we have to become very subtle to understand Paravani. What I am talking right now is Vaikhari. But people are there who can get to the Madhyama even when sitting with me. We resonate at the thought level. With those who are at the thought level, I need not talk. There's no need to talk. But there's one more level, that's the vibration level, the vibe level, frequencies, the feeling level. That is Pashyanti. Vaikhari is very gross. It needs language. It needs the five senses. Madhyama needs the mind. It's all at the thought state. It needs intellect, intuitions. Pashyanti is all about feelings and vibrations. Emotions are feelings. As you deepen in this spiritual journey, you see you are becoming more emotional. You become very sensitive. The bhakti in you arises. The bhakti in you arises, and there's a different kind of emotion and bhava. Now it's all about bhava. Your communication, your asking, your saying, your dealing, your love, your hatred, your anger, anything is all at simply a vibration level. As these emotions get purified, it turns into simply blissful energy of unconditional love. From that Pashyanti, it becomes very subtle and evaporates into Paravani. In Paravani, there is no mind, no intellect, no senses. It's simply a knowing space. There is no mind also to record it. Paravani is the deep contemplative state which requires deep level of awareness. That is where your rishis contemplated on those deep messages in the Brahmanda. It's not in the universe, it's in Paravani, it's in that state of Paravani. It is in the chidakasha. Tapping into the chidakasha, staying in the chidakasha, some sounds or some vibrations, the original source, from the original source, the whole knowledge of the self, the whole knowledge of the universe is reflected as sound, as feeling, as very subtle vibes, the initial stages of creation. So if somebody is in Paravani, they simply tap that. And when rishis tap that, that is known as shrutis. Smriti and shruti. Smriti means you hear a shruti. Shruti is original without any interruption, without any adulteration, without any human intervention. So shruti is what you simply know or hear. We call that hearing, but that's not an from the ear hearing. It's not an auditory hearing. It's inner hearing, inner voice. So that which you just hear and you just let it out, or you put it down, like how the rishis put it down, what they heard, that only became Vedas. Shrutis. Vedas are Shrutis. No interpolations. But if somebody takes the Shrutis and then uses their mind and intellect and writes a commentary on it, for example, or tries to explain it, like even I'm trying to explain something, that becomes a Smriti, that's not a Shruti. Smriti happens in Chidakasha. It's a very different deep zone. There we cannot sit talking about these blah 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 spiritual talks. It's beyond the talks. So to get there, the lower mind must be peaceful. We must have finished all this cryings and woo and victimhood and things like that. We must have healed ourselves. We must have purged all the garbage from our life and become so empty. When you become empty, you can easily enter into these states. Entering into samadhi is one thing. Becoming aware of your samadhi is another thing. Samadhi anybody can enter. They will go. You must have seen everybody this way, this way. There is no awareness. Here we are talking about having awareness of that samadhi. That needs some kind of a little discipline training. These are the things that we do in shifting into awareness, step by step. We don't jump into the deepest because we want to get there. You can't get there. And I tell many people, it might be very lucrative, these level games. Oh, the high level, so just let me get certified. Why should I bother 1, 2? If there are 20th level, why can't I just go and buy level 20? If you don't get 1, you cannot go to 2. If you don't get 2, you cannot go to 3 and so on. Only after you're prepared and you're completely thoroughly done with level 1, you can go deeper. In shifting into awareness, level 1 is body. You are trained to literally become aware of every single thing in your body, all your organs, all your nerves, all your bones, all your joints, including the bone marrow, to the depth of that, to all the blood vessels, to all the secretions and glands, to every organ's functions. Not intellectual knowledge, experiential of what's happening in your body. Tapping into those spaces. Becoming fully aware of what's happening in any part of your body at any given time. I always say, forget studying the Brahmanda. Study the Pindanda. If you study the Pindanda, you'll understand the Brahmanda. The microcosm is a holographic reflection of macrocosm. Macro and micro both are interlinked. One you study, you'll understand the other. One you enter, you'll enter the other. We have demonstrated this. Whenever you enter into the Pindanda, you can ask the people who, the practitioners, they find themselves in the Brahmanda. Whatever is projected in the Brahmanda, they see it being reflected in their own Pindanda. That's why I say, forget about saving the world, save yourself. Don't be too bothered about Brahmanda. And day and night keep talking and discussing about what to do with the world. Your world is here. If this world is good, then that world is good. If this world is bad, that world is bad. If this world is not peaceful, that world is not peaceful. You might say, no, there is no peace there. Already it is not there. Yes, there are so many things happening there, but I am telling you, your relationship with that peace and unrest will depend on how your life is structured, on how aware you are. If you have risen from the tensions in your body and mind, and if you can't relate with it, if you have had freedom from your own life miseries, from the own hauntings of your own mind, if you are free from it, then there is chaos here also, right? There is violence, there are things going on in this body every time. Even illnesses might come, go. Mind also has illnesses. Mind has so many vasanas, tendencies. So many things are happening in this pindanda. But if you are above it, because you are not the pindanda, you are the one who's experiencing through that pindanda, through this body and the mind. Body and mind are not you, they are your tools. When you have a proper realization of this and you rise to be where you are as awareness, and then you can see your mind doing this and that, your body having this and that, and you are simply not carried away with it, then there is violence in this world also, but you are not affected by it. When that happens, there is so many things going out there and you're not affected. Both are interrelated. For that mastery on the self. That is why Jesus said, know thyself, nothing else. Jesus never talked about anything much. He said, know thyself. So here the perspectives are a little different. It's a little deeper. We cannot go with the old beliefs when we enter into Shaktopaya. The old schools are all Anvopaya, external methods, where all your Brahmanda is always outside. Because your Brahmanda is always outside, your attention is always outside. You are busy trying to connect so many dots in your outside rituals. You worship it outside. Your God, your Shiva is outside, perhaps on a hill, perhaps on a mountain. Those are good for starters to develop devotions, but you can't remain stuck in it. If you're really progressing, you'll understand that he is no more on a hill. You know where he is. And if you really know where he is, you'll know where to search him rightly. Otherwise, you'll simply go up and down the hill and be tired all your life. So many people go to Kailasha, right? Every year. Have they attained? Have they seen? Have they realized anything? So if one can really find Shiva on a mountain, they should all be illumined and enlightened by the time they come down the hill. But it's not so. You can see even mishaps happening there, deaths happening there. Troubles are all there. There is no difference if you see with the world and the holy mountain. This includes even Arunachala. Not everybody who goes to Arunachala is illumined. They are all needed. They are all powerful schools. They attract you in the start because the Viveka is not developed. Buddhi is not developed. So when Buddhi is not developed, the outer running will be very strong. When the Buddhi develops, the outer, everything just drops. And the moment the outer drops, you are in at the right place. There begins your real journey. That's Shaktopaya. And then there is a lot of work. Now it is about scrubbing and giving up so many unwanted things of the Anvopaya state. You have to leave behind everything. But if you are a fanatic, you cannot. You'll see you're helplessly struggling, trying to go, evolve, rise. But you don't know, something prevents you. It keeps preventing you again and again. That disappoints you. But again, you fail to see what is it. You continue struggling even harder to touch the things outside of you, to reach the God outside of you. You choose all kind of methods and tapas and sadhanas and upasanas. And you say, I need to work hard a little more until you exhaust. Like the mountain climbers. A momentary victory of reaching the top of the hill, the thrill of reaching the top of the hill, the ego boosts. I have reached there. But what happens after that? So there is a lot of work in this Shaktopaya, and that's the difficult part. That is why it is challenging. It's not very comfortable. And that's exactly what happens here in shifting into awareness. We are just dealing with the Shaktopaya completely. And we are looking at all the barriers, looking at all the obstacles, and head on acknowledging it without wasting our time fighting and resisting it. We understand, we realize, we know what to do now, and then we sit and simply get connected to it. Pay your attention here, my dear. Your problems are never ending, it will go on. I'm trying to convey something very deep to you, and we are still in the victim mode. We are not ready to drop these stories. Why do we have to relate? Why do we actually keep relating everything with our stories? Nobody is interested in our stories. Really, the world is not interested in your stories. Only I am interested in my own story. That is why I keep singing my own story all the time, everywhere. Nobody wants to listen to it. What have they got to do with your novels? My story and my novel is my garbage. Whatever story that I talk about is from the past and it is rubbish and garbage. How is that garbage useful at this moment in the now, right now? Right now, I'm sitting here. So many things have happened to me in my past. If I talk about my past year, what use is it? Is it real? It's not real. Some memories. A lot of memories in my head. People can go mad behind memories. In fact, my friend had just come. He just left half an hour back. Close friend. For the past 2 3 months, he has been struggling with a strange problem and he has been consulting me all the time. And that's his laptop. He has an Apple phone and an Apple laptop. He has two iPhones. Both the iPhones are filled with images and videos. Both the phones are full. His laptop is full. That is a Mac. That's full. Now the problem is he has very precious videos and images taken for the past 7 years, and they are all automatically gets arranged in the phone. Now the problem is the space is run out, and I didn't know it because past 2 months I'm sending him some message or a forward, and he says I don't get it. When I asked why, he said I don't know. Then we checked, it's full. Memory is full. It's not downloading, it's not taking in anything new. He's not updated with what's happening in the new, in the now. Because his old stuff is jam packed in both his mobiles, not one. Because one got full and he had another. He started storing in the other. And when these were getting full, he started storing it into his laptop. Until a time came when the laptop got full. Now he's asking, should I go for another laptop? I told him, anybody will tell him. Hard disk or any storage space or cloud. No, I need it in this manner. The Apple has beautiful way to arrange my photographs and things. I can look any year I want. These are all photos of my families and things like that, my child growing up and things like that. So I can look, if I want to see 2009, 2006, I can simply go there in a jiffy. But I told him, my dear, in this jiffy, you're losing the present. You're compromised with your present. Yeah, I know. So I should buy more space. We are like that. We want to expand this space. We want to expand this mind. बस चले तो और एक दो मनोमय कोश डाल दें and give it an extension. We have that much of stories in our life. I don't know where the hell and how the hell we can keep them because it's so suffocating. Yesterday's story, if I keep it in my mind, I feel suffocated. And here we are talking not about yesterday, last month, or last year, even Janmas. I tell people you should sit like this. When you sit here, you don't have a past. And if somebody tells you about a past, you have to scratch your head and think about it. Who? What? And then, okay, I'm getting little hint. It should become that way. That is called healing. My question is, if we talk all the time, talking, I am doing this healing, I am doing that healing, I have done this program, this sadhana, that method. What the hell happened to all that? Why is this stuff not getting deleted? Practical spirituality. Counter check. Is anything even happening? I don't blame the methods. Methods are all fine. The way of doing it. Sometimes we don't know. We don't have a proper approach to it. Stories kill us. Again, I'm telling, only I am interested in my stories. What use is my story if I keep on telling this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me? I tell a lot of stories to the people all the time. And people are very interested in the stories. You know what the difference? The difference in those stories are I say, this happened to me, this happened to me, and then I did this, and this happened to me now. People are interested to hear that because everybody wants solution. They don't want to sit crying with anybody. Nobody has time to sit crying with anybody. This habit must go. And until you become aware, it's not going to. That's what I'm saying. Do these practices. You don't have to think so much. You keep shifting into awareness by these protocols. So many methods, so many ways are there. In such a way that it simply becomes you, and then you catch every nonsense that's going in your mind and just dump it. We don't talk about cleaning. We talk about not being interested. One second. Okay. So I'll just repeat. There was no sound here in Facebook. Now still it's not there? Green light तो दिख रहा है. No, audio is on. I see the audio is on. It was previously blinking. I think it's coming here, right? Yes, it's on. So I was saying, here in the practice, until you become aware, you cannot catch yourself telling stories and, you're simply gone with that mind. You cannot be in the present. You're gone with the wind. One thought comes, it takes you. One emotion comes, it takes you. You're here, there, everything gone. How do you stop this? You stop this by shifting into awareness. There are so many protocols here. You keep on doing it. You keep on doing it in such a manner, such depth, that you can catch any nonsense that's going on in your head anytime. You're aware of it. Anything happening in your body, one itch, one sensation, anything, you are aware of it. Anything happening in your surrounding, immediate surrounding, you're aware of it. If you go deeper, even in these subtle surroundings, you will become aware. It's all on your practice. How much ever practice you do, it's based on that. And there's no end to it. It's liberating. Here I'm not even talking about curbing karma and this and that, because karma is doing the drama of eating up my head. Karma is playing havoc in my mind. So I love karma to play its game. You play. You play your game, I play my game of watching you, of not being interested in you. So I'm not talking about killing these thoughts and things like that. I simply am aware, I acknowledge a nonsense is rising and I'm not interested. Not by saying. It's not a practice that I sit and watch every thought and say I'm not interested and neti neti and things like that. It is simply by naturally now being aware, my awareness itself bounces things off, which is useless in my life. That's how you allow this awareness to do the work. You don't have to do anything. You don't become the doer. Your consciousness takes care of it. That is the same consciousness that will keep guiding you. That is the same consciousness that will protect you. That is the same consciousness that will take care of you. Which is better? Doing than do. If it is being, then be. How to be? Shifting. Silence. Shift from noise to silence. This is noise. You ignore it, it's silence. Oh, it's very deep, very hard to ignore. And then learn these practices. That is what we need, effort to become effortless. Sit here and do those practices. There are basic stuff to do. Join this Sunday. We have a webinar from 9 to 1 or 12, I don't know, something like that. Join it. I'll teach you how to do that. Irrespective of what you're doing. This has nothing got to do with any other practices. But beware, practices can drop out of you after a while. Because this awareness will just feed what is needed for you, and it will simply discard that which is no more serving your purpose. That's evolution. And it's great relief to see that something takes care of you. You can't handle this world. It's a crazy world out here. Crazy world, crazy people. Everybody is in their own display. Everybody is displaying their powers. Some are using their powers also to control, manipulate. So I don't see any difference between spiritual world and worldly world. It's all the same stuff everywhere. So let those who want to do their work. We do our work. And our protector does his work. So there are many areas where we don't have to put our heads into. There is something that takes care of you. That's where peace comes. So shifting is very important. Shifting from we to me. I have a visiting card. Gauri asked me, the child asked me in तिरुवन्नामलाई रिट्रीट, आपको क्या जरूरत है विजिटिंग कार्ड की? मैं बोला कभी कभी फ्लॉन्ट करना पड़ता बेटा अपने को, काम धंधा चलता है यार, धंधा अपना भी चलता है थोड़ा बहुत इधर. तो आई यूज इन दैट. सो आई यूज सम पंच लाइन्स. ये देखो मैं फ्लॉन्ट कर रहा हूँ, उल्टा क्यों दिख रहे हैं? ओके, जेक लाइट कार्ड. ओके, जाने दो. आई वॉज ट्राइंग टू टेल यू अबाउट दिस, how I define the pathless path of shifting to awareness. Shifting from unreal to real. All this is unreal. But it's so difficult. So difficult. Anything you touch, you pinch, it's so real. How can you call it unreal? There are protocols, there are ways to discovering how everything is unreal. Not by just telling this is Maya, oh सब मोह माया है. कोई थप्पड़ मारे तो दर्द होता है. Even if an ant bites, so it is hurting. If somebody says something, it's hurting. How can it be unreal? It's a journey. By certain modalities, we will realize that. So I wrote here, unreal to real. It is a shift from unreal to the real. It is a shift from duality to non-duality. Shifting from doing to being. Shifting from noise to silence. Shifting from chaos to stillness. Shifting from confusions to clarity. Shifting from ignorance to wisdom. Shifting from darkness to light. Shifting from falseness to truth. Asatoma satgamaya. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya, darkness to light. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. From mortality to immortality. Shifting from the ego mind to the soul. Shifting from diversity to oneness, that is from me to we. I to we, all one. So this is the deep shift from noise to silence. All the first part which I talked about, all is noise. Unreal, duality, doing, noise, chaos, confusion, ignorance, darkness, falseness, ego, mind, diversity, me. This is all noise. And the opposite of it, silence. Real, non duality, being, silence, stillness, clarity, wisdom, light, truth, soul, oneness. It's a great deep shift. It doesn't need tools. It can give you freedom because this is Shaktopaya, the second level. After all these external modalities, this is the second level that is done through your awareness, moving from noise to silence. There was a king who was very disturbed, a lot of problems in his kingdom. So he went to a sage who was sitting under a tree and meditating. He went to this sage and said, "Oh, Holy One, please give me a solution to all my problems, but I'm a very busy person. I have so many things to do, but I took out time and came here. So I don't have time for pravachan, satsangs. Many are here that way only. They don't want to get into. I tell join the sessions. No, we want one consultation. No, 15 minutes de do. We want to talk on Messenger call, and I keep getting calls from Instagram, from messengers, and all that stuff. I block their messengers because I tell them don't, and still they continue and block. What is going to happen in this talks? You are not interested in working yourself out. You want some shortcuts. They send messages here continuously. People. They are not interested in the practice. They have not even got into the practice, but they want the end result. Nothing is going to happen. It's the same old approach that you are carrying. All your life you have done that only. Now we are not changing. We are not seeing there is work to do, my dear. You got to pull up your sleeves and get down the gutter there. This gutter. Oh, that's an insult to me. How dare you call this my mind as a gutter? How dare you? I don't want to come to you. Go. Because nobody else is going to enter that gutter. You only have to enter the gutter. And you have to clean it once and for all. The day you decide is the day is the day. And the day you decide is the day we sit and say across the table, come on now sit. We have some work to do. Get going. 1 to 3 years, whatever, depending on your capability, you can do it. Or 1 to 30 years. It's upon you. Basically, I've studied in this 3 years. I've understood 3 years is enough to get there because I can see people coming very close to that. So I understand, okay. But again, sincerity, perseverance, commitment, truthfulness, pure intention, all these are needed. If these are there ingredient, then nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop this work. It will go on. But people are not interested. I tell them attend the satsangs. You want to talk. Who am I? What can I do for you? I cannot do anything for you. I couldn't do anything for myself. I had to work it out, my dear. I've slogged it out. Now I rest. Now I don't need to slog because the time is over. So that time is there. We all have to do that work. So that patience is needed. Ooh, ah, ouch, that zone of yours. You'll have to work on that. Because many places in your body, mind, and soul will start itching and paining. Not the soul, body and mind. And with every itch or with every little ache and pain, if you keep jumping and tossing and running, you cannot do this work. That is tapas. Tapas doesn't mean sitting under a tree or bodhi tree or going into a cave or living in an ashram or going on top of a hill or running into the forest and doing all that. It doesn't mean that. It simply means the acceptance that I have work to do. So this king goes there and he says, look, I'm a very busy person, like most of us. So many other things to do. So many maintenance zone is there. I have my children, I have my in-laws, I have my parents, I have my siblings, I have my friends, I have my offices, I have my business, I have my community, I have the society. So many things to do in this world. I have no time for myself. So the Raja says, the king says, tell me the whole thing in very short one sentence. No pravachan, please, Maharaj. I respect you very much. And the sage opens his eyes and says, sure, I'll shorten everything for you. I do understand you're indeed a great king with great responsibilities. So, not even one sentence. I will reveal the whole thing to you in one word. So, exciting, excellent. And he sits down. Tell me, Maharaj, I'm ready. And he says the word is silence. Now the king thinks about it. One word that can solve all my problems. All my problems. And the sage says, silence. So he asks the next question, knowing that the mind is not easy to silence itself. So he asks the next question, okay, Maharaj, you said silence, but how to get into silence? And the sage says, become aware. Get into awareness, or what I call a shift into awareness. And he says, meditate. Meditate to realize silence. And then the king asks, how do I meditate? And the sage says, through silence. That's as simple as it is and as difficult as it is. Silence is everything in life. A mind that is calm and silent will extrude it outside. Silence is contagious, peace is contagious, love is contagious. It will radiate it outside. Anybody who's sitting in your vicinity will become silent. Anybody who's in your vicinity will become peaceful. Whatever you radiate, that will be caught. इससे बड़ा सेवा क्या हो सकता है? Without having to run around, you're doing seva. So what does this mean? इसकी सेवा करो, सबकी सेवा हो गई. Serve the Pindanda, you are serving the Brahmanda. No. हम मानवता को बचाएंगे. We will save the religions. We will save the humanity. We will save this planet. Oh. I wonder, without you, what would have happened to this universe? You and your team. So difficult. Even God would have been in worry. What will happen now? This whole thing gets changed, okay? The way you look at these things are different from one angle. And when you get deeper, you will realize the true mysteries of life. It's another different angle. That's all. It's just two different perspectives. You look at one perspective from duality point of view, it's full of confusion. It is too much of aggression and doership and do this and do that and saving humanity and things like that. You change the perspective and you understand there's nothing to save but yourself. So I always tell people, forget saving the world, you save yourself. If you save yourself, everybody is saved. That is what Ramana would say. The only way to save the world is to self realize. By self realization, you contribute to the entire. Now, this also is not understood. We might say, yes, yes, yes. Ramana says it might. It's not understood. It's not what you understood right now. That by saving, by becoming self realized, a part of me will expand into everything and the whole collective also experiences. It is not that way. When you get realized, when you dissolve, when the I dissolves, when the mind dissolves, the whole samsara goes poof. Maya is not outside, Maya is in my mind. Samsara is not outside, samsara is in my mind. When I open my mind in the morning, at night I'm at sleep. Samsara gone for a toss. Morning when I wake up, my mind opens and the samsara opens. There was a man who went to Ramana and said, you are sitting here with a loincloth and talking big things. There, the world, so much of problems. There is hunger, there is war going on. There is so much of disease and famine and things like that. Sages or yogis must be able to do something out of it. If you have realized that, then you should do something about it. What is it? Sitting in one corner and talking about it and doing nothing. Better than you is me. Look at us. We do so many projects in this world. And this man, he sits in Arunachala. No project, no publicity, no stage, no mic, no advertisements, nothing. What use is he to the world? It's such an arrogant and ignorant statement to say that those who are sitting in silence and in the wilderness are useless. Some even go and call them as selfish. You have got something and you have gone and sat in one corner. You should share that. Do that. These Mahatmas will never be understood. They have a different and deeper perspective. Maybe one day we will reach and understand that. Whatever spiritual levels we are. Because I can see ignorance even at the highest level of spirituality. This is not to judge. This is my discernment. This is what my learning is. I'm not interested in about judging or things. But who wants to change anybody? They have wish, let them do anything. But I don't buy nonsense. I see it, and I'm not interested. I don't want to be that. Simple as I don't want to be that. So somebody told about to Ramana that it's no use. I'm going to save this world. We need action here, action packed world है. उठाओ gun और लग लो. Somebody is threatening our place and somebody is doing this, somebody is doing that. Violence is out there. हम भी किसी से कम नहीं है. ईट का जवाब पत्थर से दे देंगे and all that stuff, you get boosted. What happened to all those patthar wale? They came and they went. Some drama got played. They came and they went. So many wars took place in this earth. So many things happened here. Is anything permanent? Is anything as it is or achieved forever? Peace attained forever? No. Now we attain peace. Now we win a war. There again something will go wrong. Or after some time again things will go back to old state. That's what I'm saying. यू वर्क सो हार्ड, सतयुग लाएंगे, सतयुग लाएंगे, सतयुग लाएंगे, फुदक फुदक के लाएंगे, और लेके आए, चलो बेटा ले आए, यू ब्रॉट सतयुग। बिफोर यू नो खिसकता जाएगा नेक्स्ट। द्वापर त्रेता देखते देखते आ गया, अरे फिर वही झमेला, फिर बचाओ, आंदोलन निकालो। हाउ लॉन्ग यू आर गॉट स्टक इन द चक्रव्यूह। Mukti means getting out of this cycle, escaping this cycle itself from here. It is not इसके अंदर ही पिसते 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 उधर ही करते रहो, अपने आप को विक्टोरियस बनाओ, फिर गेट डिफीटेड, अगेन गेट विक्टोरियस, अगेन गेट डिफीटेड, अगेन डाई एंड अगेन बी वॉन, अगेन डाई एंड अगेन. This foolishness happened even in sages, rishis. That's what I'm saying. There's ignorance at all levels. Don't just blindly say that, oh, everything is. No, there is at all levels. Till one is simply dissolved completely, chances are always there. You see the stories of all the great rishis who fell from there and all those things. Ignorance is there until the ahamvriti dies. That's very difficult to kill. It's a great pleasure to even say I'm a saint. You don't understand that. There still is an identity. To even feel that. Anyways, in Upadesaram you can see a part of the Shiva Mahapuran story where Shiva has to come down and tell the rishis who are doing tapas, rishi and rishi patnis, they are doing havan constantly, and Shiva is watching them. Beautiful story. It has been picturized in. It's a part of Shiva Mahapuran, and you'll not hear it. Even if you have read the Shiva Mahapuran many times, you'll not hear this. And the rishi and the rishi patnis are doing a lot of tapas there, and Shiva is watching them. Something is not really right here. And Shiva says, they are not getting the message, I must go down. And the partnership deals, and it goes with Vishnu says, come, let's go down. Let's make out a play from here. And Shiva becomes a bhikshuk, a mendicant, Vikshandehi, a beautiful, handsome man. And Vishnu becomes the enchanting mistress, the Mohini. They both come down, and the rishis are busy in their havan, and they pass in front of them. The moment the rishis see this Mohini, mohit ho jate hain. They get attracted, lured by this charming lady, and they leave their havan and they start following her into the forest. It keeps moving for a certain time because this Mohini, this lady, is none other than Vishnu. After some time, she disappears. Mohini Vishnu disappears. And the rishis come to know something is wrong. We have been tricked. We must rush back to our penance. Somebody has tried to distract us from our presence. They run back. When they come to the havan spot, homam, they see their wives are not there. On finding out, they come to see that the Rishipatnis, the ladies, were enchanted by this handsome, naked bhikshuk, who was none other than Shiva. And they followed him, the ladies. When rishis saw this, they were angry. They called, but since they did not come, they were angry, upset with this handsome man now. They wanted to get rid of him. So from the Agni, from all their tapobala, siddhis, they start removing weapons and pushing it towards that handsome man, who's none other than Shiva. They send a snake, astral snake, and that snake goes and falls at the neck of that bhikshuk. They send a tiger to kill, and the bhikshuk pulls out the tiger skin and wraps it around his waist. You must have got an idea, right? All the formation taking place. So one by one, many such things happen, and they all convert into this attributes of Shiva, and soon they see this is none other than Shiva. He's taking the form of Shiva. Immediately they realize their mistake and they run and fall at his feet and ask for forgiveness. Shiva says, it's okay, but what's all this about? So he gives a hint there. First of all, perfection is not there because there was kama, a desire to chase, leaving the duties behind. And second, anger was there. Anger came from jealousy because they saw the wives are with someone. So it's like when you do it, it's okay, but when your other half is doing it, it's not okay. Jealousy. Out of that jealousy, anger. And from that anger came the thought of violence and destruction. Shiva asked, what is this about? Is this why we attain spirituality? So getting siddhis is not getting powers and being very lucrative and things like that. It's not the end of the game. That there is, because powers anybody can achieve. You do tapas, you do day and night some mehnat karo, do some hard work, you can come to that state of getting siddhis, siddhis. So when they realize, now they try to justify and say, we were doing our havan, we were doing so. Shiva says, why are you doing this havan? Day in and day out. All the time I see you doing this. Oh, this is for Manav Kalyan. We are saving humanity. And Shiva says, first save yourself. Shiva says, I'm watching from so many multiple lifetimes. Every lifetime you come here and you do homams and you do all these practices to save humanity. In that act, you get fruits. And from the fruits of that good karma, you again get these higher bodies and you end up doing the same thing. And you earn again punyas. Again, you get this. Actually, the whole story goes on behind the greed of punyas. Because rishis used to do this to gain better enjoyment, gather more punyas and go into the astral world, Swargaloka and all that. There are many stories which will point out to this, but this story points out to doership. The doership says that I am going to save humanity. What are we trying to give the message here? The one, for example, Shiva here, is he incapable? Is he really incapable? That I have to take ownership and I say, I save the world that you created. Indirectly, am I not saying you are useless? You can't handle the world that you created. I need my intervention in this. Think about it. Everything is functioning under the effect of cause. Everything is cause and effect. Everything is purely karmic. Everything is just the result of the vibration that is being sent. You give a certain vibration, it comes back. Man himself get into trouble. Collectively, we get into trouble. Today, the state of trouble, whatever comes, we are all responsible for it. We have created these kind of situations. But when the karma phala comes, we put our hand up and we begin praying. We begin taking this initiative of healing this world, taking care of this world, and blah, 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 all that. Without knowing, without cause, there cannot be an effect. That is the reason gods don't interfere into this, or the Param Tattva doesn't interfere into this. It's a play that's going on. Simply cause and effect is playing itself out. So in my life, if something unwanted is happening, somewhere I am the cause of it. And it will be made known to me. Now, when I do it, I don't care. But when the effect comes, I call God or I blame God. I hold him responsible. I hold everything responsible other than me. Look at all the victim talks we have. People did this. People call me this. People say this. People who? What are you? A pure divine soul? We must understand these things. If we have to get out of all these things, we must understand first, I am the creator of my own trouble. Oh, I am the creator of my own destiny. We love it when we say, I want to create cars and estates and careers and relationships and health and wealth and things like that. I am the creator of my own destiny. But when we say, then if you are the creator of your own destiny, then you have created a destiny even right now. Knowingly or unknowingly, you are creating it all the time. So why can't I accept responsibility for this? So everything is a cause and effect that's going on there in the Brahmanda. Without reason, nothing is happening. Even the most horrible thing that you see on Discovery Channel, a lion eating up a helpless animal, which is so humble, it can move you, and it's moving. It's not that you don't feel bad. You feel bad, but there's a reason behind it. Perhaps if you were shown in the last life how the lion died, it was under the grip of this deer, which ferociously ate it up, tore it apart, and ate it. This lifetime, it has been exchanged. We fail to look at life larger than what it is. Only one lifetime we look. So we can't understand the intensity. Once you understand this intensity, you will see that there is no end to this nonsense. It keeps on going. Cause and effect. Like the rishis here. Keeps on going. Every janma come, do the same thing. Every janma come, do the same thing. And Shiva says, you are stuck. You must get out of this loop. Start working on it and exit the cycle. And the rishis wisely say, justifying it now, oh Lord, you have only given us this tantra, this yantra, this mantra. It's your knowledge only. Agam Nigam Shastra. We are following that. We are following it from Purva Mimamsa, a part of Vedas. This is what we are doing is in the Purva Mimamsa, which you have only given. And Shiva says, yes, I did give it. But why are you not turning the page from Purva Mimamsa to Uttar Mimamsa? Because in the rest of that scripture, I say, now give up your actions. First, no doubt, I'm asking you to do actions. Then I ask you to give up the actions. Why have we not referred that? Speechless. This is not new, my dear. Krishna also talks about the same thing in Bhagavad Gita. He says, he begins with Karma Yoga. To do karma. And by the time he is reaching Jnana Yoga, he's telling to give up karma. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say here. I'm saying we must put efforts. To become effortless means to give up the effort later. Starting it is needed. That's what I'm saying. 2 to 3 years, invest in yours. Go deeply into it. Thoroughly. Effort, make all efforts. And you will become effortless. Life will become easy after that. But that effort is needed. Karma is needed to become a karma. So the secret lies in giving up the action. It's not in the doing, it's in the being. Shiva Sutras begin with Anavopaya, doing. Shaktopaya, learning, transitioning from doing to being, and Shambhopaya is being. We are in the being. Third level, you have reached there. Nothing to do now, be. But you can't jump directly to third because it's more lucrative. You can't escape the whole thing. You have to first unwind what you have done. So much of things to clear off before you go to the neutral zone. And that's what we are trying to do here. So this doing doesn't help. This taking ownership, I am going to save this world. Nobody is going to save this world. And that's what happened when that person talked to Ramana. You're sitting here. I'm going to save the world. You sit here. And Ramana is someone who asks, you really think you're saving the world? Yes. Did you sleep last night? Yes. Where was your world last night? Where was the world war? Where was the famine? Where was the hunger? Where was the poverty? Where was all the violence? Where was all the helplessness? Where were all the cries? You were snoring. Think about it. Because, dear ones, this person who's talking, where is he talking? He doesn't even know what is he exactly talking, which part of the world what is happening. He has only news, borrowed news, probably seen from a newspaper. He doesn't have the actual records of what happening in the now. So what he's talking is his mind. What is stored in his memory, he's just repeating it from his memory that this is happening, that is happening, but he doesn't have live access to whatever is happening. And जिसके पास लाइव एक्सेस है वो चुप है. So he's just blurting out what his mind is telling him. And at night, this same mind drops. Manolaya. It simply drops like a pebble into the water and dissolves under it. It disappears. Mind disappears at night. So the contents of the mind disappears. All the wars, all the samsara, all the so-called maya disappears without a trace. So at night when there is no mind, there is no samsara, there is no maya, there is no violence, there is no this, there is no that, there is no need to save, and the savior himself is dead. Bolo. Forget the world. The one who wants to save the world is dead. Is now absent now. No complaints, no grumbling. No projection, nothing to see. This is where the secret lies. When I said I'm coming to that. Your self-realization helps humanity. Because the humanity that you're telling all about is a projection of this mind. The moment you disappear, the world disappears. It's very deep. Objectively, this cannot be understood. Some of you who are thinned out, the objectivity, will be able to catch this. It's my mind that illuminates Shiva Sutras. I am Shiva. I come alive through awareness when the Shakti unfolds out of me and create the world. It creates my Anandamaya Kosha. I come into some unconscious I amness, ego. The ego is created. Then further it illuminates the mind, my mind containing karma and the vrittis, the vasanas, the tendencies, the contents is illuminated. The moment I illuminate my mind, I see the thoughts. The moment I see the thoughts, I interact with it, and then my reaction begins. Then my maya, the world, comes into existence, which was not there till now. And then my interaction with the thoughts. In the morning, what happens when you're sleeping? Who are you? You don't know. When you wake up, before you open the eyes, you wake up inside before opening the eyes. That is the I amness opening up. Anandamaya Kosha is coming alive. Shakti is awakening. Duality is happening. The Ardhanareshwara is happening there. The split is happening before you wake up. Little moments, fraction of seconds. And then your I amness comes. You don't even know, lying in the bed, who you are. Think about it. Do you know? You don't know. It takes a while for you to understand. What is that while? By the time the light is entering into Manomaya Kosha, mind is illuminated, and suddenly you say it's a Monday, it's a Friday, and suddenly you say, oh, I've got to take my child today to school. Oh, I've got to pay the fees. Oh, I've got a meeting important today. Oh, I have to cook this for breakfast. Mind में content जो है, it gets illuminated by my own light. Swayam Prakashit, Shiva, that I am. I unfold along with Shakti that is running outside to create. शुरू हो गया यहीं महामेरु बिंदु से, सृष्टि शुरू हो गया, और जैसे सृष्टि शुरू हो गया, पालन. The moment I open up, samsara comes back, the world comes back, my family comes back, everything becomes real. Some moments back it was completely unreal. And the moment mind gets illuminated, it doesn't stop there. Now it moves into the pranamaya kosha, energy activates in your body. Eyes open, hands move, body moves, you get direction, you get energy, and then it further moves into the Annamaya kosha, body gets active, and then you move out of the bed. All this in just seconds or fractions of seconds. What is happening? My Shrishti is opening up. Now what? Now Palan Shuru. Creation ho gaya. Brahma Tattva activated. My world has come alive. Now I run. Now I'm in the maintenance mode. Vishnu Tattva, Hari Tattva, full day. I'm doing everything to maintain life. Completely. Doing everything to maintain life. Vishnu is fully active. By the time I'm tired of running in this world, fully tired, now I want rest, I want peace. Now I remember my night sleep. Oh, wonderful, Satchidananda. I want to return to that state. I come back tired. I curl up in my bed, stretch myself. Rudra Tattva activated. Pralaya begins. All your so-called Brahmanda starts winding back. Think about it. Lying on the bed, and first, same process. First, your body has to stop, right? You cannot move and sleep. Your body has to become still, nischala. What has happened? Annamaya kosha. Prana withdraws into prana and then moves back. The light moves back from pranamaya kosha now to the mind. Then mind is still illuminated. Body is still, but you have one or two thoughts in the last. It's also dissolving. Last one thought left and it dissolves. The light is pulled back into Anandamaya Kosha. The I amness remains. I am. You are still alive. You know you exist. But who, what, where, why? Nothing. No idea. Fraction of second. And then the light goes off from Anandamaya Kosha. The I Ahamvriti dies. The Shakti merges back into Shiva. And you are into Manolaya. Mind gone. Your whole samsara is gone. Where is there samsara outside? This is what we learn here. These are the teachings of Arunachala. The deeper level of going deeper into the mysteries of creation, to the mysteries of this creation, my mind, how I create my world, how I destroy my world. I am the Brahma, I am the Vishnu, I am the Mahesha. Last retreat we learned that, right? Some of you who attended. Using the power of these vibrations, Pashyanti. We pull back from Vaikari, we enter into Madhyama and then stay there for some time. We practice there, Madhyama, and then again pull back from there, get into Pashyanti. And the state of Pashyanti, we are in the vibrational wind, that's the Spanda. That's the Nada Sharira. That's the Nada Yoga. Spandana. Now you are operating on Spandan level, which is very powerful because Spandana is the root of manifestations. Before anything comes into matter, before your thoughts become these words, this word right now, whatever you are hearing, it has a source. Before this word coming out, it was in my mind. Before in my mind, it was in the form of vibration. Throat is speech. It was in the throat chakra. Before that, it was in the heart chakra in the form of thoughts. Before that, it was in the Manipur chakra in the form of feelings, vibrations. That is the source. Manipur is the source. And then into Swadhisthana, Paravani. Before that Paravani also, there is that nothingness, that black state from where it manifested. Muladhara. So actually, from the nothingness, from the dark, empty space, this has traveled and become words now. If you understand this, that is Mantra Maheshwara. How it happens. Then at that level, you travel, you work, and from that level, you operate. This is another level of operation. Thought is another level of operation. Feelings and vibrations are another level of operation. We learned in retreat, level 2, about operating from Pashyanti level. And from there, you are Shiva. You create, you sustain, and you destroy. From vibration, we practiced on how to create. These people are not those creators. I want a car, I want a bungalow, if needed, yes, to finish off and get into self-realization. So we don't introduce these even in webinars. It's not there. I don't take this in webinars because this is meant for self-realization. This should not be practiced for worldly gains. So even that creation is to finish whatever final things are left. And then maintain, or there are many things to maintain till you have the dissolution. There are still things to play out. Okay. Then there is a certain way to vibrate and maintain your world. Not with the intention or greed or attachment and moha, I maintain, I'm not going to leave. No, that kind of people should not be told this. They will not be able to do it also. This is for people who want to go beyond. They know maintenance is there because I maintain it well and then I can easily go because I fulfilled everything. The Vishnu Tattva and Rudra Tattva, when you're ready, you pull back. The final vibrations vibrate to that frequency of self-realization and that will start happening, manifesting. You cannot directly go there. You have to finish off all things in life. That Rudra Tattva, we use multiple 2-3 other sessions in other days to destroy by activating the Bhairava Tattva and finishing off all those vibrations which are not in match for my life. All the old vibrations of memories and stuff like that. Using the Rudra Tattva, that can be destroyed. That's purging. So there is intense work here. It's not that we are sitting and doing mindfulness. It is intense work because there is intense purging. People purge, they puke, they have loose motions, they have fevers and headaches and things like that. Intense purging happens. But this is not done as a regular program. This is done for retreat. Retreat means their objective these are people who have stayed and worked out very hard for 2 to 3 years. In many other programs, participated in so many webinars and purged and removed and worked on themselves hard, and then they have a certain purity level. They all become silent. You must look at them. You'll see their nature is different. All of them. They're like kids and they are like so humble. Humility is one sign that you can see. Arrogance is gone. I and this and that. Sarcasm and this. All those things are gone. Fickle-mindedness is gone. You become humble, you become neat, you become pure. You become divine. You become caring, compassionate. Kindness is your quality. Divinity flows out of such people. It's pure grace. And I tell people, don't change your uniform. Don't go to proclaim. Don't go to say anything. People will never tell you these things. Because this is not treated with respect. We talk so much about spirituality, blah 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 blah, but how many people do we respect who are there on that field? We are jealous. The moment we see somebody evolving, we want to pull that person down. I've seen this in spirituality also. You can't go ahead because aap Qatar mein hai. There are some of other favorite people who are in line and they should be. You have to wait. The system in the cosmic intelligence of this Lord cannot be tabulated or manipulated. It takes care of itself. So I tell these people, you will not hear this. You do not know what levels these are. Sitting like that, having long hours of samadhi, having mumukshatva, intent desire to be free is only by the grace of God. I bow to you all. That's my attitude, because when I sit in the presence of these 25, 30 people, I feel blessed that I am sitting with holy people. And I mean it. Even I grow in that. It benefits. It's a presence. It's a collective presence. So it's something I tell these people, poor things, because these kind of things are not promoted in spirituality. In today's spirituality, power plays a big role. Who has power? They reign, they dominate. And they can say everything because money speaks everything. Money and Shakti, Siddhis, things like these are very prominent. It can do a lot of things. But I strongly believe in the purity of connecting only to that eternal truth. Truth will lead the way. Truth will show everything. So yes, these three tattvas are in us. We can activate these things, create whatever we want. But again, I never teach this on any webinars. It's only for retreats. It's only when we climb up the ladders, and we then only in the final state use this powerful modalities to give the final, to reach the final goal. I don't know if you have any questions on this, because I have not been seeing anything here. If you have, you can post. I am sorry I was not able to see the yesterday's, I forgot about it. So tomorrow, one more day, I'll have this session. And maybe once a week or something, I'll come online, live. Because there are many things that we will not know. We will simply think that satsang means knowledge. It's not. It's tapas in itself. You can see drastic changes just by listening in the right frame of mind, in the right awareness. So we teach your awareness first on the body level, then on the mental level, and then on the soul level. We cannot become aware of the soul until we become aware of every nook and corner of this body and know the science of this body. I must be able to generate prana in any organ of my body when I need it. I must be able to become aware of any organ or any corner of any organ when I need it. Vibes are felt, sensations are felt. Those are the proof of your prana moving there. Then after that mastery, then I become aware of the subtle bodies deeply. And there is a lot of work there also. Why are we doing this? Because we are sharpening the intellect. Intellect has to be refined, because with this intellect, you are going to study further the mind and sukshma shariras. Enter the sukshma shariras. You can enter only through a refined intellect. Now, is intellect the end? No. At one point, you have to throw the intellect away. That's the third stage, Shambhopaya. Shaktopaya is completely working with intellect. By the time you are in Shambhopaya, Even the intellect is thrown, because the self cannot be known by the intellect or the mind. Only when this is dropped, it happens. That is why in Devi Kalatra, when Parvati tells Lord Shiva, I've come till here, intellect, intellectual illumination, all that is there. Now, I don't know how to reach you further. And Shiva says, be silent and listen without doubt. Silent means nischala. Don't padapadav. One more vibration, one more thought, you will go down. Adogati. You have come till here, now sit silent. So that is the time of pure awareness, and you're silent. And then he says, give up all your concepts here and now, at this moment. Give up all your beliefs. And there, this is the final Updesha given by Shiva to Parvati. This will not be told to you. I often tell people, all the people on the Shiva path, they must teach Devi Kalotra. Take it out. It must come. Why is this not presented? If we are Shiva Bhaktas, we must know what is the final Upadesha given by Shiva to Shakti. Why? Why this is not chosen? Because it says give up everything. Devi Kalotra, Shiva says, give up everything, including your meditation. That's a catch. Including your projections about me, Shiva says. Because Parvati says, who are you, Lord? I'm so confused. I read your all tantras. I went through all your scriptures, all the Gyanya that you have given. I studied everything. I studied about Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. I studied about Agam, Nigam, Shastras, everything. But I'm still confused, my Lord. Who are you? Some says you are Mahadeva. Some says you are Shankara. Some says you are Ardhanareshwara. Some says you are the Pranav Mantra. Some says you are Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha. Some says you are the Ardhachandra. What are you? Some says you are the Kundalini in the chakras. What are you? I'm confused. And Shiva says, you are ripe now to hear this. Become Nishchala, and I'll tell you the secrets. Brahma Vidya, Brahma Gyan. First thing that he says is, all these things that you said, I'm not that. I'm neither Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. I'm neither the Pranav Mantra. I'm neither the Omkara. I'm neither the Kundalini. I'm neither the Shankara, Mahadeva, whatever you call it. These all are concepts, Shiva says. These are all concepts that I gave it to Manda Buddhi or Bhranta Buddhi. Bhranta Buddhi or Manda Buddhi means dull intellects, because they cannot fathom this Nirguna Nirakara nature of mind. So I have to give them concepts because they are all working in the mind and senses. They cannot understand beyond the senses. So to grasp me, first they have to get hold of something, and that is why I give them concepts. And then he says further, give up these concepts. I'm none of these. Now tell me, am I talking anything different? I'm so glad, because I've been talking this almost all my life. Somehow. And Devi Kalotra came to me just 2.5 years back. When I was sitting in Arunachala, it came to my laps. Gift of Shiva. It's like Shiva assuring me, don't worry, son. What you believe and what you feel and what you share is true. Here it is. I was so overjoyed with this document that I went and did this webinar. Everybody must know this. This book is available only in Arunachala, only in Tirunamala. You will not get this. Devi Kalotra. It is some part of some document. The huge scriptures of Vedas, Upanishads, Vedas, some corner. And see the intellect of Ramana Maharshi. From all that, he cut that point and brought it out and elaborated on it. Devi Kalotra was the first ever document that Ramana Maharshi translated while he was on the hill. He was living alone that time. 16 years he lived up. First ever translation that he was guided to do by Shiva himself, because Arunachala is living Shiva. Arunachala planted Ramana there. Ramana didn't come by his wish there. It is the Shiva Leela. Because Shiva speaks, we cannot hear. That is Paravani. He needed somebody to step down and put that through Vaikhari. And Ramana was his Vaikhari. Ramana brought out all these secrets. And that's why I'm telling you, you will not find this in any corner of this world. I searched like anything. Many other documents, Sarvagyanotra, Devi Kalotra, Upadesaram, sacred documents, Ulludanarpada. Ribhugvita is one of them. Ribhugvita you'll find anywhere. But these, some Arunachala Tatva are there. You'll not find it. Why? We are not ready for it. The people who go to Arunachala are the people who are in the final stage of evolution. Let me repeat that. You cannot reach Arunachala, you cannot study Arunachala Tatva until you are in the final lap of your spiritual evolution. That's the Gyan Marg opens there. This opens. That means you have traveled from Muladhara till here. This is the Shiva Agni that burns ignorance. This is the Shiva Agni that burns ignorance. And this is Arunachala. This is Agni. Agni Tattva is Arunachala. That is why you have Agni Lingam there. That is why this holy hill is known as the hill of fire, because fire destroys. It destroys avidya, it destroys ego. That is why this hill is known as destroyer of ego. Ego, the I. The source of all problems. To me and others. The source of all problems. That it destroys. Without grace, you cannot come to Arunachala. It's a deeper, strong, final call that comes from Arunachala, and then these teachings are given there. Now you tell me, what will a person do when he gets the final message through Devi Kalotra, where he says, it's fine if you're not able to do. Give it up. Give it up. He says, give up everything now. All your concepts you give up. About me also, give it up. And then he says, give up all your meditations. To Parvati saying, give up all your observances, your festivals, your customs, your traditions, your Pitru Tarpana, what you do every year. Give up that. Give up all your meditations. Give up all your meditations on chakras. Give up meditating on the deity sitting in the chakras, including the Vinayaka who is sitting in the Mooladhara, that is Ganesha. Check it out. This is there in the courses. shiftingintoawareness.com/courses. You'll find Devi Kalotra. Anyhow, I'm going to do it once again. If you're interested, join. Every single word we'll contemplate and meditate on. Then you'll be free. Then you'll understand it's okay. If I'm from inside, I'm not having any more obligation to all these kind of things. And the community that I live around, they say this is a must. Without this, you can't. What do I do? My heart tells something. My mind is telling something. Listen to your heart. We do your all heart work. It's all from the heart. It's all spontaneous. Even I told you, right? No plans. Whatever is flowing is flowing. Meant to be. Maybe you're supposed to hear it. You'll get it. So the journey is little different as it deepens. Deeper truths come out. Devi Kalotra is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. So some of you who feel offended, some of you who feel bad, oh, how could Shiva say this? I can't believe. Buy the book. You get it in Ramanashram. You can order it online also. There is one book called Collected Works of Ramana Maharshi. Collected Works of Ramana. In that, there are many documents, many scriptures. In this, Devi Kalotra also is there. There is no separate book. You can order this book, Collected Work of Ramana, and go through other things also in that. If you're ready, only you can do it. If you're ready, you'll have interest in this. Otherwise, you'll see and you'll say, forget it. Again, you'll go back and you'll say, Har Har Mahadev, it's outside only. That's fine. That's fine. It's not that it's not true. That is but Anvopaya, where the Mahadev is outside. We come to a certain stage when we realize the Mahadev is not outside. It's in me. That's the second stage. First stage is what? Mahadev is outside. I do the naman. I do all the worship. I sing glories. I do pujas. I become a great bhakta. I flaunt his glories. All those things are there. That's the first stage. Second stage is when I understand Mahadeva is not outside. It is within me. Mahadeva is within me. So that reduces outside. And then you start turning inward to find the Mahadeva inward, to connect to that Mahadeva inward. And the third stage is when you realize you are only Mahadeva. Third level. This is already explained in Vedanta. Apara level, para level, and the para level. This is there in all practices. Every practice is there. I know it's a little late, just 5 minutes. I'll finish it because the recording is going to be here. If you're sleepy, you can sleep. I can go even whole night long. But I know you will not have the patience for that. So this is there in all levels, be it in Shaivites, be it in Vaishnavites, or be in Shaktas. In Shiva Tattva, in Shaivites, they see the Shivalinga outside and they worship it. Second stage, they say the Shivalinga is inside. Shivmana's puja. I start worshipping inside. It has turned inside. Evolution has happened. Third level, you only realize I am Shiva. There is no one inside me also. I am that I am. Aham Brahmasmi. Shivoham Shivoham. Tattvamasi. All these Mahakavyas. You realize that. Shaivites. The Vishnu, Vaishnavites also go in that manner. The worship of the Lord outside, be it Ram or Krishna, first outside, singing for him outside, then they realize it is inside. They start worshipping inside, going inward, meditating, and in the third level, they realize they are only that Supreme Krishna. They become one with it. In Shakta, for Shakti, you have the Mahameru. You sit with the Mahameru outside, you put kumkum on it, you put the rice on it, you worship it outside, thinking the Maha is outside, and you do blah blah, all those mantras. Anvopaya level, Apara level. Second level, Parapara or Shaktapaya level, is when you start internalizing it. The Advaita Pujan, the Sri Chakra goes within, and then you start meditating on different points of your body and start uniting with that Sri Chakra. In one of the Tantra, I don't remember which, it is said that the Mahameru, which you do worship outside, is the lowest form of worship to Mahalalita Tripurasundari. Is the lowest form of worship outside. So the second step is you internalize it through your visualization by using your mind. That's Shaktopaya. And that's Parapara level. And then the third level is I am Ma Lalita Tripurasundari. I am Lalita Tripurasundari itself. I become that. That is Para level. Third level, Shambhopaya. These are the only three levels. There are no any other levels. So based on that only, we are saying here, in shifting into awareness, we begin at second level, Shaktopaya. It is all the mind and awareness level. We don't do any of these because it's not needed now. That's the reason we don't do. There is no affinity towards it. And the people who get attracted here are the people who have dropped all the external practices, who they don't relate anymore to any objectivities. They just want to sit in silence and go deeper. That means you have evolved. Many people think something wrong is with them. I've talked to hundreds till now, confirming them, convincing them nothing is wrong with you. You are evolving, my dear. No, previously I was doing that. Now it's not happening. It's not happening because you've outgrown it. Now what's happening? If they say, now I want to meditate, simply sit silently, I don't get this noise, I don't want, then they have evolved. Because sometimes you might say, I'm not interested out of tamas. You want to do worship, you want to do puja, but you're not able to. And then you say, is that evolution? I ask, what do you want to do? Nothing basically. Or maybe I'll do it once a week or once a month. Then that's not evolution, that's tamas. If you have no affinity and if you just want to be inwardly and silent most of the time, inwardly withdrawn, then yes, evolution. And where does lead? Shifting into awareness. If it begins and you do these practices, then the final stage After you master the awareness, refining the intellect such, when you come till here, Shambhopaya activates. There you have to give up everything, including the teacher. Painful? Then stay in Shaktapaya. Everything has to go. Everything, the training, the teacher, the philosophies, everything. Then it's only that. That is Nandi. Nandi never turns here or there all the time on the Lord. He is not meditating on the Lord. He knows that his objective is just that. He doesn't take his eye off. One, if he just looks at even a fly flying, he is not in that state. That is that state. So Nandi also is not what we fantasize about. It's a deep symbolism. Shaktis, yesterday we explained about the Shiva's family, Shiva, Parvati, Kartikeya, and Ganesha. And now we add Nandi. Nandi is the seeker, whose attention is always on. Attention means what? Meditative attention, not doing puja, not singing, not praying, not thinking, not sending messages, not sending prayers. All these things have dropped. It's simply blank and attentive and aware of that one chidakasha, blank, nothingness. There is no object also to see now. The seer has gone, the seen is gone, the seeing also has gone. That is the merging of, that's the being. That's a different state. Anyways, let's not go into it. Oh, Ruby, you are here? Good. So you can see all these people, Ruby, and there are so many others from the Western world who are joined, and their journey, I see them. Past 3 years, they have almost been here for 3 years. Marked improvements in their state of mind and the way they are getting detached to things and floating freely. Challenges are there. Definitely, it will be there, and it'll. Why? I not. I always say, don't feel, oh, there is so much of challenge again coming. That will come. You just compare your last year and 2 year journey and see where you have reached. So in 1 to 2 years, if you have this market improvement, where is the doubt that you will not have in the next 1 or 2 years? We are all progressing. So great things can happen. Anyways, so thank you everybody for being here. If you need more information on any of these subjects or on the practices and you want to deepen your experiences, there is step-by-step guidance here. I sit literally with everybody in the group, what we call as a family, and we have daily sessions and different level of webinars. Whoever do, I give them different follow-up sessions with them, sit with them, clear their doubts, and even repeatedly make them practice. So one thing I'm like hell bent on, not by force, but we have methods of very easily transcending through satsangs into that space, and I make them aware just by doing that, saying that it's simple. There's no much techniques to do here. You just do these things and see how you simply go into that silence. Do it repeatedly. So these kind of things are there. And then we have all these webinars and retreats and things like that, which is again with a deeper intent. Okay. So if you are really interested in going very deep, and if you have a deep urge to be free, not leaving, you don't see me. Uniform is not, I have not worn any red, blue, yellow, green, any kind of rainbow colors. Because one monk in Uttarkashi told me, don't change. Out of the blue. He gave me advice in Uttarkashi ashram when I was on my Himalayan tour. He's told me one thing: continue doing what you're doing. I have seen your work, and don't change your uniform. If you change, you will change. Be among people, like people, and you talk the language that they are understanding. Haste khelte, chalte raho. So that's the blessing I got from him, and I'm following that very strictly. And that is what I'm telling people also. You don't have to change uniforms. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to proclaim. You don't have to tell anything to anybody. Be free, step by step from inside, and enjoy that experience of freedom. If you're interested, most welcome to join. We have this link called shiftingintoawareness.com/join. You can click on that. Shiftingintoawareness.com/join. If somebody can just post that link, please, it would be very nice and I would be grateful on YouTube and this. Shiftingintoawareness.com/join. Because why am I saying this? Because I know there are people out there who need proper guidance and who have the urge, but they're not finding it. Here is the way. I'm not interested in crowd. Anyways, when you enter that zone, you'll see there are filters there. And if you are ready to go through those filters, some questions asked, you'll pass through it. Otherwise, if you say, no, 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 I don't feel I'm ready. I thought I was. I need to go back to what I'm doing. Please go. Please do what you're doing. We are not forcing or converting anybody. Okay? So this is not shift from this path to that path, or this is not a competition, or, this is better or that is better. Nothing of that sort. It's simply a state of evolution that's happening. Okay? So thank you everybody for being here. Because of you, satsang happened. I could also spend some time with you. We'll end this session with a short prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we all be blessed. May we all evolve. May we all be free. May Arunachala bless you. Arunachala Shiva. Bye.